Jam. Hello and welcome once again to Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And today we are talking about Recess.
Oh yes.
The Disney Channel hit series about a group of friends at school and what goes on during recess.
Yep.
Super simple concept.
Mm-hmm.
Played out, by kids.
Yeah.
It first premiered in 1997, ran for 6 seasons with a total of 127 episodes.
Ooh.
It saw one theatrical release of a film, which was called Recess School is Out.
Yeah.
Then followed with a second film, which was direct-to-video, called Recess Christmas Miracle on 3rd Street. And then 2 more direct-to-video films released. Recess, Taking the 5th Grade, and Recess, All Growed Down. Interestingly, the characters also made an appearance in a 2006 episode of Disney's Lilo and Stitch, the series.
What? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. How weird is that?
That is weird. Why that one?
I don't know.
What a strange choice.
I know they like to do that in Disney cartoons, do a bit of a crossover, but yeah, it is a weird.
That's such a bizarre.
Yeah. It was created by, was it Adam and Joe or something? Do you remember it was?
Is it?
No, it isn't Adam and Joe.
I've
I've got names right there. It was like Joe and, where is it? Joe and Paul. Paul and Joe Productions.
Paul and Joe.
Yeah, sorry, not Adam and Joe.
That
would have been good.
That would
wouldn't
have been good.
But they also created Lloyd in Space.
Oh yeah.
A few years later. Like if they'd appeared on that, it would have still been weird, but you'd kind of got it.
Yeah.
Like they'd have gone to Earth or something.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Isn't that in like Hawaii or something?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't know how that worked, but there you go.
School trip to Hawaii. Yeah, I don't know.
So that's a little bit of an overview. Let's talk about our memories. So, memories of Recess.
Yes.
What are yours, if you have any?
I do. Yes. Yeah. No.
It'd be hard not to. I think
it would.
Recess was massive.
It was. It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, again, maybe because it's a kids thing that most kids do. You have to kind of have a break time at school.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you lived at went to some really intense school where we weren't allowed it. But I imagine that would be terrible.
Well, there was an episode where they got rid of it, wasn't
there? Yeah.
That was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
And then they brought it back as Ruckus.
Yeah. But it's. I remember the characters because they're very sort of individual. You've got all the different kind of types.
Yeah.
Try and tick in all the boxes for each kind of person.
Yeah, and it was like it was one of the most relatable cartoons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it basically just played on school life and all those kids that do certain things, and I don't know, it was really on point.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's so popular.
That's it. Yeah, you've got all the different cliques and stuff like that. And I think you only have to watch it a few times to go to school the next day and try and figure out who was who. Yeah. So I do remember that and the teachers being kind of like weird and mean and stuff.
Pure evil.
Yeah. It was just good fun. Like I remember it like enjoying it, and I think it was kind of like in my head, it was kind of cool watching kids having to do school and then like enjoy playtime as well.
Yeah.
And sort of like it was kind of almost reality TV before it happened.
That's what. So my memories of it are like it was. You watch stuff now, and if you say you watch a comedy show now, and you want to see something that's taken from real life, and you're like, oh man, that's the life I live. Like that's why it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Recess was that because it didn't paint it as like they loved school. They just loved recess.
Yeah.
And they hated
the actual
classes. And
yeah.
the teachers were horrible, and even when the teachers weren't horrible, you only had to get told off once, didn't you? To be like, oh, I hate the teachers.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to ruin my fun, sort of thing. So yeah, it was dead cool to see that sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
And fond memories of recess, and just all the characters. You know, the hierarchy. You know, like King Bob, and then there was like the sort of. Not, he wasn't necessarily he was like a bully, but he wasn't. He was just no one liked him.
Yeah.
Or was it Lawson?
Oh yeah.
He just made fun of everyone, but it was that kind of kid that wasn't the bully.
Yeah.
But he just made fun of everyone. It was weird, like, but they
Yeah,
got it right.
Got all them on point, didn't they? Or the little
fact
cliques.
that I can't even explain that kind of kid, but
Yeah.
they've put him in it.
Yeah.
It just shows you. Sort of.
Like they've got it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sort of shows you, because you watch a lot of, again, like we talk about all the time, but the American stuff, you watch a lot of it, and their school looks so different to ours.
Yeah, it
but
really
when you
does.
watched this, it didn't feel like it was that different.
Yeah.
There were certain things maybe, but overall you were like, oh yeah, that's actually
It's like,
quite similar to ours.
Yeah, so it's just got that massively broad appeal. So you can see why it did so well with kids. Like, yeah.
So yeah,
good
fond memories.
Good
fond memories.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we are talking about the episode The Box. I've not written down what episode.
I think it's series 1.
Series 1, episode 22?
Yeah, I think that's right.
No, it's not right.
No.
That was a different one. Either way, The Box.
The Box. You'll find it.
You'll find it. It's like, well, we'll talk about it. Let's do a little playthrough.
Rewind. Playthrough.
So the episode is The Box. Take it away.
So The Box is about... we start off with basically another situation where TJ gets in trouble.
Yeah.
So a handyman runs out and informs the spinster that basically
They're very dramatic.
Yeah, it's really intense. There's like the biggest disaster that could ever happen is that like the freezer is it's basically it's defrosting, and they've got boxes and boxes of ice cream in there. And somehow
it's all going to melt.
Yeah, somehow it's just not. It's been turned off, and it's going to melt, and they don't know what to do with it. And so the kids come up and say, "We can probably help." And the next shot we see is just everyone is licking at some ice cream,
like full on, eating all the ice cream,
overloaded with ice cream. Like Mikey's filled himself up, and he's just gorged completely, chocolate all over his mouth, and they're basically hatched a scheme in order to get free ice cream, and suddenly TJ is sort of bragging a little bit about it, telling them that he knew it'd work, and then Miss Finster comes over just in time to be like, oh, you're in trouble, and he's like, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. She reveals his shoe, which is got his name on the
weirdest
bottom.
thing to like, oh no, I left my shoe at the scene of the crime. It's like, full on, he's written his name on the bottom of both shoes.
So there's no question that he was the culprit.
Rookie move from him, to be fair.
Definitely. You wonder how that happened in unplugging a freezer, but you know,
it happens.
It does happen. I've seen it before, and so basically, Miss Finster has to punish TJ. So she gives him one of their classic punishments, which is the wall. So he literally just has to face the wall. His face is basically pressed against the wall of the outside of a building. And the rest of the gang kind of come over and just start chatting to him. And as she's watching, she realizes that this isn't really a fitting punishment, because
it doesn't work.
No, as long as the other kids are there, it's not really a punishment. So she hatches a plan to make a more severe one. And so she comes up with the box, which is basically a chalk box drawn on the yard in order to isolate a punished child.
Yeah, it's solitary confinement, basically.
You're
not allowed to go anywhere near it.
That's right. And so inevitably TJ does something, I forget what it is now, that he does in order to get himself punishment for the second time.
I don't know if I wrote it down.
He's but basically he's always the one that gets in trouble anyway most of the time. So
I think she was just sort of hunting him down anyway.
to try and find a reason. And so he's the first one to get in the box. And the rest of the yard are kind of intrigued by it. They're all like, TJ's getting the box, TJ's getting the box.
Because at first they all laugh at it, don't they? Like, it's just a box.
And so he gets put into the square, and she tells everybody else, anybody that comes near the box is also going to get punished. So everyone moves away. And so suddenly it becomes a punishment.
Yep.
And it takes literally seconds for TJ to run out of things to do while he's in the box.
Not a patient man.
No, he looks at the clock and it starts. There's no movement.
He just
whatsoever.
basically looks at the clock every second.
Yeah, every second, and there's no.
And it's not moving.
No, not moving. And in a matter of within 10 minutes, which is his entire punishment, he's gone insane. He's like certifiably insane.
Like it's actually the cruelest punishment ever
devised.
Yeah, and he becomes like Gollum or something.
Yeah. They even give him an extra 2 minutes just to punish him more severely, and by that time he's completely.
When you think so, Game of Thrones, Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah.
For those that know.
Yeah.
The stuff done to him was horrid.
Yeah.
All he needed was a box.
That's it.
And he would have become that snivelling
just
mess.
A box on the floor. That was it.
So,
Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah.
There you
go. And then, so basically, TJ's driven mad by the box.
Yeah.
When he, like, the rest of his classmates don't know what's happening with him. He doesn't even like talk like himself anymore. Like, he talks in the third person.
Good boy.
He talks a bit like Rain Man, actually, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
And then so the others realise that they have to hatch a plan in order to get TJ back.
Yeah.
So Gretchen, who's got like a mini book of Freud.
Yeah, it's standard Gretchen move.
She says that, despite what you might think, to actually make him face his fear is the way that he's going to actually overcome it.
Yeah.
So they throw some spitballs at Miss Finster.
Get him into trouble again.
Yeah, put it next to TJ, and he's back in the box. And like again, he's terrified of the box already.
Yeah, he's going loopy.
Yeah, he knows what's going wrong with it. And it isn't until another kid like bounces his ball into the box and asks TJ to give it him back that basically the kid comes into the box and retrieves himself.
He's like, yeah, you're weirdo.
Yeah. And then TJ's like, oh, it's just a box. And he comes to the realisation that it's just lines on the floor.
Yeah.
And by the time Miss Finster and Randall come back out again, TJ is back to normal.
He's cured.
And he is cured. So it's all about facing
one's fears.
That's it.
Good moral.
And that is the playthrough.
That's the playthrough.
Toon Jam. Toon Jam.
So the box is a memorable episode, I think.
It
I
is.
do remember it.
Yeah.
So I was glad you picked it because it did stand out. There's a couple of episodes that do. That is one of them.
Yeah.
And it's a good. You get to see all the characters, sort of thing. But there's a lot of characters to see.
Yeah.
So, but you see, sort of obviously TJ, Gretchen.
Yeah.
At work, Miss Finster and Randall.
Yeah.
And you sort of forget how much of a snivelling little wimp Randall is.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was one episode where they became friends with him, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then he ended up going. It was quite a sad episode.
Yeah.
Because he ended up going back.
Yeah. And you were like, oh, he was actually all right.
He was actually sound for that bit, but back to old Randall.
That's it.
But yeah, and they are really good characters as well. Like Finster is so evil.
Oh yeah.
So is Randall.
It makes you
like
wonder
every
why
bit
she's
with
a
them,
teacher.
they're just hanging out in the dark, like, plotting evil plans. Yeah. But then there are some teachers that they've been teachers for that long that I imagine they've just forgotten why, and they do become cruel. I remember having cruel teachers at school that were just horrible.
Yeah.
And you just wonder, why do you do this?
Yeah.
You were so jaded by the amount of horrible kids they've had to teach over the years, sort of thing.
I suppose anything you do it long enough, you burn out is like a real thing. So you have to kind of take a step back in order.
Yeah.
And teaching isn't really one of those things where you get like I suppose where you do get a lot of breaks throughout the year. But, a minute back in the classroom with some kids.
Yeah.
And it's
and almost those breaks must make it worse because when you have a holiday from work,
you
only need a week to be like, going back to the hardest things. So when you think you have like Well, in America, don't they have like 12 weeks off or something?
I think so, yeah.
We get 6 over here,
Yeah.
so it's still more, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine going back after that.
I
Oh,
know, yeah.
that'd be hard.
And also, when they break up, all the kids break up. So
Yeah.
wherever
Yeah,
you go,
so, yeah.
he's surrounded by kids anyway.
I can see how you'd become jaded.
Yeah.
So it is good that it's real, isn't it?
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And you can kind of tell there must be a certain amount of it that's based on the creator's experience at school.
Yeah.
But it's like an eternal thing where you can see your experiences in there.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's what makes it so good. Like that, you kind of always there's always somebody there that you can be like.
Yeah.
If that's not you, it's like one of those people.
Yeah.
Like somebody like that. So.
And it was good. It's good because as well, like, so that kid that comes in at the end, he's like a younger kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
And when he walks off, he's like, huh, 4th graders.
Yeah.
But every year was like, you didn't hang out with people from other years.
No.
And it was the age gap was such a big thing.
Mm.
Like they're the flipping out. They're weird. Those ones from that 1 year above us.
Yeah, that's it.
Like now you wouldn't even.
No.
If someone was 2 years younger than you, you'd be like, oh, they're about my age.
Yeah.
If someone was like 4 years younger than you, you'd be
Yeah.
like, they're about my age.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like 10 for you to be like, oh, they're a bit younger or a bit older.
That's it.
But when you're a kid, it's like
1 year.
1 year is a massive difference.
And mainly, it's not even. Sometimes it's not even a year because depending on like what month
so
you were born.
It could be a month.
Yeah.
It could be the difference
literally
between August and September.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
whatever it is in America.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
but like,
one cut off.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're in a different climate. They live an entirely different life
It's
to
weird,
the way
isn't
you
it?
do.
Like,
It's strange.
Yeah.
Like, but I guess it's just one of those weird barriers that we kind of put up ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we end up living in there, which is a kind of what this episode's about. Is that like we create our own boundaries and then we conform to living within those boundaries.
Yeah.
And like it's all mental, you know.
Yeah.
Like we do it ourselves. Like
Yeah,
we've made it all up, but. It's like loads of those things are powerful. Like no matter how trivial they seem on paper, like it can be powerful. And you know, there is lots of school punishments when you think were terrible to actually endure, but they really weren't that bad. Like when you
look back now and you're just like, it's like, what? Why are you bothered?
That's it. Yeah.
Like I remember the wall, like being have to stand against the wall. I remember being gutted, like, oh my life, this is the worst. I just felt so, because it was like unjust as well. I hadn't even actually done anything.
Yeah.
It was just punishment for what's sake? What was learnt? You just standing there, probably crying.
Yeah.
But what are you doing? Just a little
just
wall.
standing against the wall.
And I remember my mates coming talking to me.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's weird.
It's so strange.
But it's weird, and they've done a really good job of hitting that on the nose. I think, with this episode.
Yeah, it's a clever one.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't really think about it anymore because you're kind of not in that environment. So
so it is good because when you rewatch it, it's got a certain value for adults as well, but not in its. I don't think it has any particularly like tongue-in-cheek humour or anything.
No, I don't
it's
think
just
so.
more referential.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I do remember stuff like that.
That's it.
And it's like what's good, like the characters, the fact that there's so many.
Yeah.
In so many different episodes, like just the main characters,
Yeah.
they can't even fit them in this episode.
That's
so,
it.
Like Gus, I think has one line.
Yeah.
Mikey has one line. Vince has a couple of lines.
Yeah.
And Spinelli is in it, probably a bit more, but still not much.
No.
It's just like we need to do something.
That's it.
And then, but then you've got all the other groups,
kids,
like the Ashleys, like, who were everyone had a group of Ashleys at their school.
That's
like,
it.
Scandalous. King Bob.
Yeah, King Bob.
Like the leader, like the most popular kid. Stuff like that. It's just really clever.
Yeah. It's cool because it's almost like there's an infinite amount of them on the yard, and like every few episodes you'll get a sort of like a glimpse into what it's like being
and they're
around
all
them.
like exaggerated versions.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually have anyone like that, but you could see the relation.
Yeah.
So like the kid that used to try and make it over the top of the swing.
Oh yeah.
Like, swing all the way around. She always wore like a pilot's like cap, didn't she? And goggles and stuff. And then those minor kids who dug.
Oh yeah. I forgot about
stuff
those.
like just stuff like that that was just funny.
to just make it part of their identity. Like, because I guess when when you are young, like, you just kind of hold on to anything that's you. Like, like as you grow older, like, you realise that you've got multiple things going on. But when you're a kid, you just kind of like, you need like one thing to be
to be different. Almost.
That's it.
To fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does an amazing job at showing that. Yeah.
And like the main kids are like a bunch that don't really fit together even. So you've got like Mikey, who's like the fat kid basically. Spinelli, who's like the tomboy.
Yeah.
TJ's just a bit like he's the class clown basically.
Yeah.
Vince was the sports kid.
Sports guy, yeah.
Gretchen's the smart ass.
Yeah.
And then Gus is just like the wimp.
Yeah,
like,
that's
and
it.
Together they're all mates.
Yeah.
So they've ticked pretty much every general box with just the main characters.
Mm.
But then you've got all these other characters.
Yeah.
So many more. Like the kindergartners, weren't they like pygmy tribes?
Yeah,
They were scared of them, weren't they?
It's got finger paints all over their face and stuff. Like,
it's just a clever show, isn't it?
It
really is, yeah. And just this episode, it really it was good. I did like it. Yeah,
I think it shows a lot in a very short and sort of condensed version. Like,
and it does, and all of them did. It was like, and I don't remember anyway. You felt like the concept got tired.
No.
Of Recess. I mean, the fact that they made 4 films.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And appeared in Lilo and Stitch.
That
shows sort of the appeal from them.
Yeah.
It's. Well, shall we go to ratings?
Yeah, it's time to rate it.
Get ready for a surprise. Okay, so our 3-point rating system. We say thumbs up. It's recess time.
Yeah.
Thumbs down, in the box you go.
Oh no.
Shaky middle, 4th graders. What are they like? Here you go, who knows? Okay, so Recess, the box. Your thoughts?
Well, for me, it's going to be a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I generally like stuff about punishment.
Yes,
fan of the prison drama. So,
of course.
So
and that it does have the feel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Recess, weirdly, of a prison drama.
Yeah.
And then it makes you it starts to make you think about school in the way like the similarities are partially there.
A bit uncanny. Yeah. Like the way that it works, the sort of the leadership, the hierarchy, the sort of staged
micro communities and stuff. Yeah.
The structure of it.
Also,
this at this time, this at
Walking
this time.
Dead.
Yeah.
Things like that. But yes, thumbs up.
Yeah, so it's a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up from me. Not really
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm a thumbs down.
Huh?
Yeah. Genuinely. Not really. No, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Genuinely. Yeah, it's just I mean it's got such a good feel to it. And as well, I can't think of, I mean, other than obviously Lloyd in Space, but that was after. There's no other Disney cartoon that has the same feel as it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was original sort of thing. And it's sort of, they used, all the voices were kids. So the characters feel genuine.
Yeah.
They were all likeable. And there was episodes with the unlikable characters, like we talked about Randall, where you did feel for them. Even as a kid, like when everything seems more black and white, you do think, oh, that's quite sad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was even one where he got on with Miss Finster.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
He becomes Randall like TJ does.
Yeah. So there's always it's clever because it has all the right messages in it.
Yeah,
so
I think that's the thing, is that at the core, it's like
a good show,
really,
like an honest, good show that teaches you the right morals.
That's it.
Like even this was about facing your fears and stuff.
Yeah.
And it we've talked about tongue-in-cheek humour already, and we've talked about it before, how we actually usually prefer it.
Yeah.
But a show like this, I'm glad it's not in there because it doesn't need it.
No.
And it adds to sort of the theme of the show. But yeah, you can see why it lasted so long.
And like you say, like the I guess what it does, like, and it does really well. Like it doesn't need to have that extra adult element to it, like, because I think adults will still have a takeaway. They will see it as like, oh, that's, you know, it's an analogy for this, or just like, oh yeah, I guess I've never really thought of it like that. So there still is multiple layers there, but it doesn't necessarily need to be like a bit cheeky or whatever.
And it's covered in a good way. It really had a range of emotions that but didn't hammer them in to the point where it ruined it in any way. So it still felt light, it still felt enjoyable. So 2 thumbs up. Another week of 2 thumbs up.
That's it.
We are getting very lucky.
I
suppose, you know, we have had a couple of weeks before where we watched a few tougher ones, so it's nice to have a difference. So who knows? Hopefully the streak continues. Always like to watch something I enjoy.
That's it.
But you never know. But that's all for this week. Thanks again for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please feel free to rate and review. It helps us out, helps people find us, or, you know, just tell a friend, hey, I've been listening to Toon Jam. I think you might like it too. We also do a Patreon where you get a few extra things for a little price. It helps us out loads, but, you know, take a look at it, see what you think. No worries if not. And otherwise, just thanks for listening. As always.
Thanks, guys.
And until next time, stay jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Toon Jam. And if you want to continue to help us out, you can help us by jumping over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/toonjampod. And if you can rate and review us everywhere you listen to your podcasts, so on iTunes or on the Android apps, that'll be a massive help too. Thank you, and stay jammy.